Hi everyone, Sean from Plasticstarwars. Today I'll be doing a show and tell of my Slave 1 builds. First up is this 1/144 scale model kit by Bandai. It's the very first Slave 1 model kit that I've built, and anyone who has been following me on Instagram will know that I'm a huge Boba Fett fan. So when I heard that Bandai was about to release a new kit for the Slave 1, I was just so excited. When I finally got hold of it, it actually took a while before I jumped into it because it was a bit intimidating because of all the vehicles in the Star Wars universe. I think the Slave 1 has the most unique color scheme, one that's difficult to replicate accurately because of all the heavy weathering and paint chipping effects. As you can see, this is a highly detailed kit like all Bandai kits are, and the decal that's on Boba's shoulder armor it's smaller than the tip of a toothpick. So I'm just glad that I actually managed to build this a few years ago because my eyesight has deteriorated quite a bit since then. Now here's a look at the back of the Slave 1. Again, it is very well detailed, and it's very accurate to the pictures of the studio model from what I can see. I managed to put in some lights for the engines, and that was a bit tricky because there's not much space inside the model, which is why I have to run the wires down to the base where the battery pack is hidden. Like all of my models, I've painted this using Tamiya's spray paints, and for the paint chipping effects I used Hembrol's Mascol. It's the first time that I tried that product, and I thought it worked beautifully on this model. Here's a look at the tiny Boba Fett and Han Solo in Carbonite that came with the kit. Now this model photographs beautifully in all lighting conditions, and it's hard to make out the scale because it's so detailed, but it's really just a very small ship and it fits on the palm of your hand. Now this next build is also of the same 1/144 scale model kit from Bandai. For this one, I've actually painted it in an imaginary color scheme, one that's inspired by Ralph McQuarrie's concept art. There's just something about this color scheme that really appeals to me because it also reminds me of the old Kenner die-cast toy that I used to have when I was a kid. I had a lot of fun painting this version of the Slave 1, mostly because it is all up to my imagination, but of course at the same time taking inspiration from the concept art that Ralph McQuarrie had painted. But still, a lot of it is just improvisation, and I just imagined certain details that I thought ought to be on the ship, and all the weathering, and how much weathering there should be, like what kind of decals should I be using, just the little things like that. It was just so fun to try to realize this version. And speaking of decals, I have this folder of spare water slide decal sheets for my past projects, so those came in handy. I've also amassed quite a lot of spare model kit parts from previous builds, so I have like 2 boxes of greeblies that I could look through and find suitable things to use. I've also managed to light this model, and for this I've decided to go with cold white lights instead of the warm glow that is seen in the film version, because I just thought it looked better for this color scheme. lastly, this is my 172 Finemolds Slave 1. I just recently completed this kit and I'm very happy with it, because one thing is that it's a lot bigger than the 144 Bandai's, so the scale is just perfect. Now this kit actually started out as Jango Fett's Slave 1. I couldn't afford the Boba Fett version because those kits are going for really ridiculous prices online these days. But I was lucky enough to find this Jango version at a very reasonable price. Now that said, there's quite a bit of work that I needed to do in order to convert it to Boba's. Because although the two ships look alike, there are quite a lot of differences in terms of the details. So the cockpit, for example, have to be totally scratch built because they are entirely different from each other. And there are some external details which are also different, which also had to be scratch built. But once that part was out of the way, I really enjoyed the painting process, because it is a much larger kit, so I felt that I could go into a bit more detail when it came to the paint work. Although this isn't meant to be a tutorial, I guess the next few pictures that you see here can give you an idea how I went about the masking process in order to get the paint chipping effects. Now here are some pictures showing how I went about doing the lighting. It's just drilling holes into the plastic, and in the case of these elongated engines, I used Tamiya's 3mm clear tubes so that I can diffuse the LEDs behind them. It's pretty much just Christmas lights, chain lights that you get from your dollar store, and in this case the battery pack is small enough to fit inside the model itself. So for once I could have a model kit that's lit with its own power source. So now I can pick it up and swish it about. So these are all my Slave 1 builds to date. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you would like to see me post more content like this, please subscribe. Until next time, have fun and happy modeling.